Everything I've ever cared about is gone.
You wanna know why these Stranger movies are so asinine? Because they're nothing. They're not even inherently bad, they're just nothing. You are watching nothing. And they made a trilogy of them. That is, the new trilogy, which finally concluded. The original movie at least had some merit, but that was a long time ago. I will say Chapter 3 is a bit more going for it than the last two, as in it's not just watching somebody move, and that is where the pros end. You know the basics as to why these movies don't work. The story is weak and full of predictable horror tropes. It heavily copies the 2008 movie without the same impact. It's infested with cliches, you don't care about anybody, and the decisions are beyond fucked up. As in stupid. Even for a horror movie. I'm going to assume you've seen the last two movies and get right into what happens, meaning spoilers. If you haven't seen this yet and still plan to, there's something wrong with you.
Have you ever had any psychiatric help?
The first thing that's really dumb about this is the backstory, because it simply wasn't needed. It's a concept that began at the end of Chapter 2 with one of them being killed, and it wasn't a good idea. The original movie didn't do this, and it was much creepier as a result. I know it wasn't an amazing movie, but at least it knew not to do shit like that. Unless they had a creative idea. That would have been one thing. I'm not a big fan of people who are inherently against backstories. It could potentially be a good thing, but in the end, it boils down to they kill people. Just because. Remember this from the trailer?
Why are you doing this to us?
Because you're here.
You don't even need to see the movie, it's in the fucking trailer. That's pretty much all these backstories tell you. They kill people because they're there. They could have easily cut these. This movie shows where the third killer came from, but it's the same deal. She's pretty much cool with the whole killing thing. It's needless shit that removed the little effect this had, but in this case, it's just dumb. As in completely unneeded. Bang up job, guys. You want to know why the townspeople looked at them funny when they walked in way back in Chapter 1, as if something bad was about to happen, and they knew it? Well, basically Sheriff Rotter, yes, that's his name, I'm dead fucking serious, is the dad of the male killer. So basically they can keep killing, he'll cover it up as long as they don't kill the townspeople.
Terribly ingenious.
Yeah, even though a flashback shows his son almost being arrested, but getting off because of who the sheriff is, apparently he can still keep the whole thing under wraps. I've heard of dirty cops, but in this case, the people in the town seem to know about this. Somebody even says she knows the sheriff is involved. How exactly does this work? It's not so much the logic that bothers me. I mean, it does, it's beyond stupid. But why is any of this even in the movie? It doesn't add anything. Sheriff gets killed off later, like it's nothing. Only people who interfere, being Maya's siblings, get killed off too, very nonchalantly, so it doesn't affect anything. All this stuff comes in with this movie, it takes up a good amount of the runtime, because not much else happens. But you would think if they were going to do this, there would at least be some kind of new idea, or at least the smallest amount of creativity. Instead, it's literally none of that. Given the runtime is mercifully short, you really do watch this wondering, why are you here? Why is it here? Why is any of this happening? As you can tell, it's quickly becoming a rant. When you get 3 movies into The Strangers, that's about what happens. The backstory is complete nonsense, but what about the present? You know, the here, the now. Some things happen. I don't need to reiterate how personality and decisions are completely out the window, but there are events that go down that are just confusing. She actually makes a reasonable decision to trick the sheriff and steal the cop car, like it wasn't just sitting there, she had to get him to leave. But then she attempts to drive at a high speed and not look at the road, so that doesn't go well. Only thing is, they're down one member, they attempt to make her into the new member, which proves to be not the finest idea. It could be the killing her boyfriend and lots of terrible things that went down because of them. But the first chance she gets, she kills the other female member. I don't know what her name was. And she could have killed the male too because he was distracted. Yet she doesn't. Instead, they both kill some civilian together. And from that point on, it's just nonsense. She kind of goes along with him. It's unclear what the intentions are. Eventually, her two siblings, who are incredibly stupid, get killed too. And then, after doing this in front of her, he decides to let her go, fully armed, and leave it at that. Now, I get he's trying to make her like him, empty inside. That's the overall goal. It makes sense because that's where the audience is by now. Relatability is good, but it's nothing new, and the rest is the same shit. Maya inevitably kills him and takes the mask, so maybe she's the new killer. Who knows? But I think it's overly apparent by now how much this relies on overused horror tropes. There is nothing else to this movie. All the characters are lifeless. With the new ones included, the siblings get killed off in a stupid manner. The sheriff himself, same deal. No thought went in at all. And the backstory not only ruins what little this did have going for it, but the decisions made throughout the movie make no fucking sense. And if they do, it's not explained. It's the issues that plague the previous movies, and this one, maybe a few more things happen, but none of it is remotely interesting. But the gaming channel is, and you can find that linked down below. You'll find content on games there, obviously. If you're into that, check it out. I do want to clarify, I don't mind the idea of a trilogy, because I know some people do. They dislike it by default. A lot of folks knock Terrifier for that reason, maybe eating those words soon. But as a whole, as I did not cover the previous movies, it's just one long, boring movie stretched out to make 3 movies. And that's it. It does not justify lasting this long. It's astounding anybody thought it was a good idea. All the bad elements are still here. At least I can tell you what happened in this one. With Chapter 2, I really couldn't. Nothing happens. Oddly enough, there isn't an abundance of bad things with this movie, just a lack of good things, so you really home in on the negative. I didn't even see Chapter 1 until after Chapter 2 came out. I don't look at them as the worst things ever made. They may even get too much hate, honestly. Despite my ranting, a hypocrite I am. But when your movie is literally nothing, it's all you can do. I'm sure I'll see way worse this year. I already have. But you do question the reasoning.
And you wasted my time!
Yeah, it's bad, but also over-exaggerated, so don't see it in the theater, or ever. But if you do, let me know you thought about The Strangers Chapter 3 down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe down below, and share it if you can. Hit the bell to get notified because recommendations are as useless and empty as this movie. I'm the cinema analyst because, somebody has to be.